Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism.
How are you doing?
How we doing there, gorgeous? All right, I want to try your black-eyed pea hummus.
Okay.
I also want to do sesame kale salad.
Large or small?
Large.
Okay.
And what is tempeh? What is that?
Tempeh is cultured soy.
It's cultured soy. Let me go with I'm gonna try it. The smothered
tempeh.
How we doing there, gorgeous? How we doing there, gorgeous? How we doing there, gorgeous? I attended 3 predominantly white colleges. How we doing there, gorgeous? I went to Millersville University in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, predominantly white. How we doing there, gorgeous? Lehigh University, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, predominantly white. How we doing there, gorgeous? Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine, predominantly white. How we doing there, gorgeous? There were white girls who were attracted to me in undergrad. How we doing there, gorgeous? There were white girls who were attracted to me in graduate school. How we doing there, gorgeous? There were white girls attracted to me in my doctoral program. How we doing there, gorgeous? I've always had white women who were interested in a romance with the Prince of Pan-Africanism. How we doing there, gorgeous? I've always had that. They bought me clothes. They slid stuff under my door. They invited me out to dinner. They offered me cookies from their cookie jar. How we doing there, gorgeous? They left cards on my desk in the middle of class for everybody to see it. Yes, I had white women pursue me at every level of education. How we doing there, gorgeous? Did I date a single one? I did not. Did I disrespect them? I did not. I respect all human beings. I respect all human beings. But I did not date any of them. Were some of them attractive? Absolutely. How we doing there, gorgeous? Some of them were built just like black women. How we doing there, gorgeous? Some of them grew up with black women. How we doing there, gorgeous? Those white women were not unattractive at all. How we doing there, gorgeous? 5'5", thick in the thighs, but they were Caucasian. How we doing there, gorgeous? They were 5'5", thick in the thighs, but they were Caucasian. They were 5'5", thick in the thighs, but they were Caucasian. How we doing there, gorgeous? And I did not have intercourse with any of them. Ever. Ever. How we doing there, gorgeous? Okay.
I done found condoms, alcohol bottles all over the place. This is not the drink spot.
Cows, horses, chickens.
Buck, buck, the loosey-goosey. You buck, 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 the loosey-goosey. You buck, 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 I'm gonna go to the pet store and I'm gonna get about 50 baby mice. And the minute one of you Negroes starts squealing about election day, I'm gonna throw a mice on your ass. Black pigs.
All right, everyone, thanks so much for tuning on in. I appreciate it. Good Quartet Undefeated. We're going to have a shorter show today. I'm trying to do shorter shows, more shows during the week. Check out the close. Thanks so much for tuning on in. Let's get into it. Here we go.
FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's coming. FDMG is coming. It's coming, FDMG, it's coming, 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 it's coming. FDMG is coming, thought his personality be twerking, it's twerking.
How I'm wrong? What you mean how I'm wrong? What you mean, me? I'm wrong? What you mean? I've always been fair with Umar. When he proves me wrong every once in a while, and I'm seriously, I'm wondering if this may be my last Umar Johnson live stream. Isn't that how what's her name did it? What's her name again when she was in to talk about what he's doing for the babies? I can't remember her name right now. Anyway, thank y'all so much for tuning on in. I appreciate it. Cook Crush Chat, undefeated as always. I want to just give a shout out to everyone inside the Cook Crush Chat. If you're watching this later on, thank you so much. I've been doing so much research into Umar. I've done extensive research into Umar over the years, but I've been really pinpointing and going year by year, and I'm just getting out of 2000. I sound like I'm in jail. You know that's bad. I'm getting out. I'm just getting out of 2017, and I think I have so many notes I got to type out. What I'm thinking about doing, not to get sidetracked, is do some videos where I'm typing out notes. But while I'm typing out these notes, I'll be actually playing older. You can't even see the text on here because of the light. I'll be playing older Umar videos and then taking notes at the same time while I'm typing out notes. And that way I can utilize the time where I'm typing this stuff out to get more research done. But I'm just getting out of 2017. Once I get into 2019, I'm still going to go through the vast majority of the videos because that's when things really pick up. But a lot of that stuff I've already covered. It's just you guys would be amazed at the stuff that I found from Umar's older videos. I want to share something with y'all right now. Umar, he has a God complex. Some people call it a Messiah complex. He has a God in his mind, he sees himself so much superior to other Black people that he sees himself literally as God. And this is not hyperbole. I realized this as I've done this older research on, and it's troubling. It's really disturbing as I've done this older research. And there's some things that he said, and he said these things because he's referred to himself as the Black Christ. He's referred to himself as the Messiah, the Black Messiah, these types of things. These are what cult leaders do. But there's this one video, and I'm going to have it in a documentary for sure, where Umar, he's trying to tell people, because he's a grifter. He'll talk Christianity sometimes, and he'll talk Sunni Islam sometimes. He was a hotepper too, by the way. He used to talk about Al-Sar, Al-Set, Heru, etc. He'll do Ifa when it fits him. That's what I mean by he's a great deceiver. He'll morph like Sauron, and he'll become whatever he needs to be in order to manipulate people. But there is also an aspect of Umar where when he's into the spirituality or metaphysics, which I was into too. Umar was a conspiracy theorist too. A lot of people don't know that about him. He was a serious conspiracy theorist. Now, I was a conspiracy theorist. I would say I was even more of a conspiracy theorist back in the day than Umar was. But he was that too. The point that I'm making is that in these older videos, if there's this one video in particular where he's talking spirituality, it's more like spirituality metaphysics. It doesn't quite fit into Christianity. It doesn't quite fit into Ifa. It doesn't quite fit into Islam. It's more like on the fringe, metaphysics, spirituality, consciousness, these types of things. And he starts talking about meditation. He's trying to tell people what they need to do in order to meditate, etc. And I kid you not, okay, I'm paraphrasing here, but I'm going to have this in the documentary. Umar talks about how when he meditates, he sees himself in the heavens, looking down upon the earth, sitting on a throne. I kid you not. That's one thing. When I heard it, I said, "Oh my God!" That's when I said, "Yeah, all the pieces fit together." All the other stuff I've heard Umar say, especially when because the narcissism, he really thinks he's so great. He actually believes that he's superior to Black people. And I'm going to say something. I think he believes that he's superior to human beings. Now that's really scary. He said sitting on a throne, y'all, and I said, "Oh my God, this is crazy." This is what I'm saying. Umar, he's dangerous, and on many different levels. But if this is where his mind is at, and this is when he meditates, he sees himself as like this God sitting on a throne, looking down upon the earth. People need to be careful. Umar Johnson followers, be careful. More and more people are waking up too. A lot of people, they realize that the school scam is the school FDMG. That's a scam. More and more people are waking up about that. I'm not surprised by that. He conceptualized that in 2005. He said in 2010, he said it was going to open in 2013. He started raising money for the St. Paul school scam in April of 2014. And then he said the school going to open in 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Now he's saying 2025, been collecting money ever since. And not one black boy has been educated. Not one black girl has been educated, because it's really supposed to be the Amy Garvey, something, Frederick Douglass, Marcus Garvey, and the women for the girls, they wives for the girl. That's the name. Anyway, more and more people are realizing, because time always tells the truth. Less and less people are sitting here money too. See, that's the other thing I've recognized about this whole Umar Johnson situation. You can see when Umar's going through withdrawals. Before I didn't think of it like that until more recently, when his own followers start saying, man, you high? Why are you high? Like live streaming? That's when it clicks in my mind. I clicked in my mind. I said, wait a minute. When he's up there and he's looking all the shelf, he's scratching and doing like this, and he can't see. This it's really, really deep. More people are waking up, not just to the school scam part, because that's so clear to most people who are rational thinking people, outside of his followers who are diehard followers, and they're in a state of delusion like Umar. Umar thinks he thinks that Jesus was born on his birthday. That's what he said. But there's another aspect of this, and this is in terms of Umar's psychology and how he perceives himself. He literally thinks that he's God, and that's very, very dangerous. Something for you Umar Johnson followers to think about. Okay. Yeah, I'm in it. I've been in it from the beginning. He started because of me. He said, you know what? He said, LenonHonor, I'm gonna have to start it out. I'm on the cover is the face of me. Yeah. Okay. Mrs. Mama says 420 people watching and only 82 likes. Don't make me throw a mice on y'all. Okay. Thumbs up the video, please. Thank you. Yeah, thanks, Mrs. Monica. Yeah, if y'all can hit the like button, I appreciate it. My thing says 528 people so far. It'll come up a little bit as we continue to proceed. Let me give a couple of shout outs, and then we'll get into the videos for today. There's really one, but I want to share something with you all for tomorrow. I have exclusive video that someone sent me from the UK. And you guys, more and more people are waking up and asking critical questions. And I'm going to tell you that the young people, they know that Umar is a fraud. My children know he's a fraud too, because they be sending me links because they're on different, the children, they be on different things like Snapchat and all this kind of stuff. And they send me these links, and the younger people, they clown Umar. He's like a meme. He's like a clown to them. He's like a clown. They look at him like entertainment, nothing more than entertainment. The reason I bring this up is because with the video that we're going to get into tomorrow is from the UK, and it's exclusive. And you guys will see very clearly the younger people, even the younger people over in the UK, they know that Umar is nothing more than a fraud. And see, he's so hypocritical. He wants to tell black people what you should be doing and how you should be spending your money. Meanwhile, he don't have a job. He's either staying inside of motels from money from donations, or he's living inside of his mama's closet, literally. And I'm going to say it because it needs to be said. It's Section 8 housing, and I have all the receipts on that. So how are you going to get up online and think that you're God? Literally, Umar thinks that he's God, and he dictates to black people who you should be marrying, who you should be dating, who you should be mating with. He always talking about sex, how you should be spending your money. He ain't got no job. He got 2 baby mamas, don't take care of his kids, was on child support for over 20 years now. And not just every once in a while being called in child support. There were over, I want to say 85 entries into his docket, and I got all the receipts. He wants to tell y'all how to spend your money and that you can't buy Nikes or whatever, but he'll wear Nikes. He says you shouldn't be buying this stuff from these sports teams because that's part of white supremacy, but he'll have on the Philadelphia Eagles jacket. He'll tell you all you rappers, you blah, 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 this and that. He'll actually for donations too, but he'll go off on you rappers and then talk about how you guys be wearing chains and bling bling, but then he got a gold chain, look like it's from the dollar store, a gold chain that say FDMG on it. He's such a hypocrite. And these young people, they don't miss out on that. Older people, I don't mean to be this way, but some of us, we want to believe. And so I'm gonna say one other thing, we're gonna get into it. Some of these Umar Johnson followers, they believe in Umar because they're looking for a Christ figure. They've been programmed for that. They're looking for a savior figure. And Umar, who thinks that he's God, he comes right on in and people follow. That's crazy. All right. How's it going, beautiful Bernice? Thank you so much. Okay, I think you became a member again. I appreciate it. I have been releasing segments of rough draft segments of the upcoming documentary I'm working on. It's probably not going to be finished until I would think the middle of next year sometime. Yeah, the middle of next year. But as I get closer, I'll update people. And I was supposed to start on the next segment yesterday, but I ran out of time. So today, later tonight, I'll be working on some notes. Typing out notes, and then tomorrow I'll start working on the next segment. I'll try to have it ready for you members. They're rough drafts. The last one was about 40 minutes, but I'll do my best to have another installment for you members by Friday. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I hope you're doing all right. Beautiful Bernice. This one of the OGs. We go way, way back. All right. Thank you all again for tuning on in. I want to get into the first video. Well, there's two that I want to take a look at. Let me do this before we Swaggle Nito became a new. Thank you so much, Swaggle Nito. Hope everything's going well with you. Let me do this. Let me give you guys a preview of what we're going to get into for tomorrow. Okay, let me know if you guys can hear this out. Here we go.
Came to Britain to build up this country. Okay, I've heard everything you had to say this evening. Now, on top of all of that, all of us are sitting here. We have all got children ourselves. You targeted one thing for me this evening is the speech that you're making this evening is well and good doing it to us, but it's the children after us that need to be hearing this, because I'm going to be dying and my next generation is my children and everybody else's children in this room who at the end of the day is not hearing this preaching.
We need to teach them.
Now,
let me skip through.
You're going to see Dr. Umar, and I said that was great. Then I told him how I watched.
She's talking about her son right here. We'll get to the whole video tomorrow.
You the other day on WhatsApp about your honey bunnies, no white bunny, chocolate bunny, which color bunny, and you was promoting all our black sisters. Do you know what my son said to me? He said, "Mum, I understand all that, but and I'm just going to quote what my 27-year-old said to me, who actually knows about you. Well, I don't know what he knows, but what he said was, Mum, why is it if he's talking about representing the black sisters and the black sisters, man, our brothers need to know who we are and be dating the black sisters in the community or go and find them in every other race." He said, why is it that Dr. Umar has three, please let me just say this, right? Why does he have 3 children with 3 baby mothers? And if they're all black queens, why has he not taken one of those queens and made them his absolute queen and showed the...
Listen to this. And what? And showed what?
Absolute queen, and showed the black brothers that no matter what children you have, one of your mothers should be your permanent wife. That's what my son said to me.
See, Umar's such a hypocrite. He want to tell you all and black people you need, but he thinks he's God. And he thinks that he can't, it's a narcissism. He thinks he can't do anything wrong, that he's perfect. And you guys should see Umar's response. He's such a slick, slithering snake. He really is. He's a slick slither. He's Sauron. He really is. He just, but you see the younger people, and I know that, I think she said her son was 20. Did she say 27? Did she say 27? Because she don't look that old. But however old, but he's younger relative, because I'm old. Okay. But the younger people, they know that Umar's a fraudster and a scammer. And a lot of them, they haven't been following Umar for an extended period of time because they're younger. So they haven't been indoctrinated into the Umar cult. But older people, and that's why I said a long time ago, FDMG is really the kicking spot for old people, old black people. Go and look at all the videos that Umar does where he's doing stuff at these trap battles. Very rarely do you see a child up there. And I'm talking about children who are following him like he's some sort of a leader. These younger people, they know that Umar Johnson is a fraudster. And that's a legitimate criticism. Y'all should see how Umar responds to this. See, he doesn't take he criticizes everyone. That's his whole. Umar's whole platform is about criticizing other black people. Rarely does he say anything about white people, but his whole message is about criticizing black people, including when he talks about ADHD and the the school to prison pipeline and the special education. You also see how much shit talking he does to black parents. I've heard him say, "You guys are coons." He's telling black parents that they're coons because they don't know how to take care of the kids. Meanwhile, Umar don't even take care of his kids. He didn't even know one of his daughter's middle name until about 5 years ago. You should see how Umar responds to this. He starts yelling. Now, I'm always fair. Before we get into the video, it's going to be a short show. Before I get into the video, I'm always fair with Umar. To the best of my knowledge and based upon my research, I'm going to say my research shows that Umar has at least 2 baby mamas and at least 2 children. Okay? 3, it's possible, but I haven't come across any paperwork out there. And if any of you guys have any information or documentation, or if you're one of Umar Johnson's baby mamas that's out there, because he may have more out there someplace, you're welcome to contact me. I'll keep your anonymity. You can just let me know. If you don't want me to tell people that he has a 3rd baby, I won't tell anyone, but just for my own personal edification and research, I'll keep it to myself. Okay? The point being is that Umar has at least 2 baby mamas and 2 children that he does not take care of. He's a deadbeat. He's an absentee father, but he wants to tell black people, especially black men, who you should be dating. He's not married, who you should be having relationships with. Meanwhile, he's sexually exploiting these black women, and that you need to marry black women. He's not even married, and he's 50. See, now here's the thing. If Umar didn't say anything to black people about who they should be dating and mating with and who they should be marrying and that they should be married, because I have videos where he says we should be marrying black women. He's such a hypocrite. If he wasn't saying all that, then so it wouldn't matter to me all that much, except for the fact that he don't take care of his kids. That's wrong. Black men, that's wrong. Black women, that's wrong for that matter. Take care of your kids. Do your best, even if it's difficult. Trust me, I know. Okay? But because Umar criticizes and he dictates because he believes that he's God, and that's not hyperbole either. I'm not going exaggerating. This guy, I'm sorry, this guy thinks that he's Jesus. See, and because he has that mentality, when anyone criticizes him, when this lady brings up, you should see how he responds, but he will tell black people everything they need to do, but he's a hypocrite because he doesn't even follow his own advice. And that's one of the problems with these cult leaders. A lot of times they'll execute levels of control and domination over the cult followers, and they'll give them certain things that they have to adhere to, rules and regulations. They don't even adhere to themselves. And that's Umar Johnson. But my point being, before we get to the video, for today, more and more people are waking up to Umar Johnson, and the younger generation, they already know that he's nothing more than a fraudster and he's a scam artist, and they know that he's a hypocrite too. I'm gonna tell you something else. One last thing: any man who talks that much about white women and is posting videos of white women on their Instagram page, and is always telling, come on now, Umar, cut it out. You want some of that snow bunny, and it's okay. What you need to do is get your life turned around. Stop turning this heat down. Get into rehab. Get your life turned around. I'm going to say it again. Get into rehab. Get your life turned around. Find you one woman, settle down. But see, Umar has a lot of psychological issues that does not put him in that position. He can't maintain relationships. He can't connect to people. There's something up here where he just can't connect with people outside of his mother. He has enmeshment issues with his mom. See, and that's dominated Umar throughout his life, going all the way back to when he was a teenager. He has enmeshment issues. Go look it up with his mother, and I'll explore that inside of the documentary from a psychological perspective. See, I have videos where Umar way back in the day, and he was talking about how when he first blew up, and then we're going to get to it. This was in and around 2010. So he was doing a retrospective, if you will. And he said in 2010, that's when he really blew up after the Dawa, the Israel video in Chicago that was on public access. You guys know which one I'm talking about. He had beef with Dawa too. I found that video today. It's crazy. Umar falls out with everyone. He was doing this retrospective, and he says after that video, he blew up, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then the Black conscious community with Sa Netter and all this stuff. So he was kind of giving like this retrospective. And then he talked about how at a certain point he was doing 1, 2, or 3 interviews a day. Now it's probably hyperbole, he's probably exaggerating, but things blew up for Umar rather quickly. He wasn't prepared for that. He wasn't prepared for the accolades and the attention that he was getting, and he most definitely wasn't prepared for the money, because he ultimately used the money to self-destruct by turning the heat down. But Umar, he says, and my mom, she was telling me that I need to get some sleep, because I was doing too much. I was doing too many interviews. But he was like, nah, but I got to do these interviews because I got to, quote unquote, save my people. Okay, Messiah complex. What you mean your mama telling you that you got to get some sleep? That was it. He was talking in around 2010. Let me pull up my timeline real quick. It's crazy. This guy, and there's another video where he was talking, and James sent this to me, where Umar was talking about he was being interviewed. He was on a podcast, and he said the woman, his wife, has to be able to take care of his mother. I said, boy, what in the world? And the truth is, Umar, he claims to be the primary caretaker, and I have the video where he states that, but really he's a dependent. He stays with it's really a twisted relationship. It really is, but it's been problematic since he was at least a teenager, early teens. I can pull it up inside of my timeline right here real quick. Give me 30 seconds and we'll get to the video. He started on the lecture scene in 2010 at the age of 36. So we're talking in and around 36 years old. Umar's mama telling him that he needs to get to sleep. She's like a mama would tell a 13-year-old. Or, I mean, I can get it 16, 17, 18, 19, maybe. 20 maybe, your kid, son, go get some sleep. You've been up gaming or whatever, But 36, and you're supposed to be the school psychologist with 6. At that time, he only had 5 degrees. He hadn't got his doctorate to 2012. Does that make sense to anybody? Any of you Umar Johnson followers? See, he has enmeshment issues. It's an unhealthy relationship with his mom, but it's part of it is dependency, but also he's a dependent. But also the manner in which he deals with his mother is one of control and domination and keeping her away from other people. It's really, really deep, and it's really, really sad. Okay. On top of that, he has a God complex. It's not a good combination. All right. Okay. Let's get into the video for today. Thank you all again for tuning on. I really do appreciate it. We've got about 732 people here in the building. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Tomorrow, we're going to have another shorter show, but we'll be getting into the video that the whole video that I showed earlier, where there's a woman inside the UK who calls Umar out. And it's really her son's calling Umar out. You guys got to see how he responds. Umar, he's something else. Okay. Thank you, Joseph. I've done a lot of documentary work, and I've done a full-fledged documentary. It's on YouTube called, and this is a short version, it's called Beyond Gangster Blackface. And I'm meticulous when it comes to editing, and you can always get better at editing, but that's one of my strengths when it comes to video production. Right? There's a whole lot of other stuff I really need to work on, but I would say that the video editing and audio processing, because I was a trained musician, so it's very important for the audio to be clear. And I even take out certain frequencies if there's any kind of hum or background noise. There's different plugins you can use and adjust those plugins to get the best audio quality. Anyway, thank you so much, Joseph. I'm going to try my best to have the next segment for you members by Friday. Okay. All right. You okay, baby? Okay. Here's one right here. Iceman Bam says his mama probably writes his name. Write his names in his drawers. That's sad. You looking kind of cute. Mm-hmm. So you got to say a little something nice. You know what I'm saying? Just in case. Yeah. Oh, I'm drip bristling. Let me stop. Somebody said fruit of the loom Tuesday. I don't mean to be like that, but I wonder what else his mama do for you. Because one time, I remember one time Umar, and I gotta find that video. It's a more recent video, okay, where Umar was talking about what he wants in a relationship, what women should do for men. First, he talked about what the men should do for the women, but he was just setting the women up. Then he talked about what women should do for men, and he was saying stuff like, blow my nose, or I said, what? And it sounds like what a mama would do for their child. Umar, he's something else. He really is. Yes, I must stay focused. Okay. What's up, Edward? Thanks for tuning on in. Indio got us as well. Let me get some shouts real quick. Then we get to the video. Laura's in the building as well. yeah, Black Dev. That got activated real quick. She had on them shorts. Anyway. All right. This is the thing. And not to go too deep in this because we got to get to the video. Okay, I'm trying to have a short show. Unfortunately, my mom acts like this too, and I'm 38, but I don't need it. She can't help herself. There's mothers out there who need to control their children due to their own issues. Yes, there's literature, research and literature that gets in this. There's a term that's in there's enmeshment. That's one of the issues. But again, this goes back to Umar's childhood. And again, it doesn't absolve Umar for how he's living now, because at the age of 50, he should have, and again, he has all these degrees. He wants to tell black people, and psychologize black people, but he's the one that really needs mental health, and he needs to disconnect from his mother. There's these aspects of control. And that's why I think it's problematic, even because the person who made the decision to send Umar away was Umar's father, Jamal. He's the one that had Umar sent away. And Umar's father wasn't even living. He had already divorced Barbara at that time. He had divorced her and was living and had another wife, rest in peace. But it's strange to me that he would still send Umar away out of all the children. They had a gang of kids, but to send Umar away, he was the only one who was sent away. But see, in my mind, the way I look at that, it was more like his father trying to take control and thinking that this was the best in Umar's best interest to ship him off and put him into a boarding school away from his family. See, but part of it was, and Umar explains this many times in his earlier videos, that his father felt as if Umar was too close to his mother. See, but the way to resolve that is not to ship him away from the family, because not only does it create a huge separation between Umar and his mother, that causes trauma as a young person, but the other thing is that it puts Umar in a position of seclusion. And it doesn't allow Umar the space and time to resolve whatever issues that need to be resolved within his household, and for the mother to resolve whatever issues need to be. That's where the psychological help needs to come into play. See, but that wasn't provided for his mother or for Umar. And so here we are. You see the residual effects these days. He's still attached to his mother, and he's like a child. He really is. He's like a big old child. He's a 50-year-old child, and that's why he's always online asking for things. He can't have it. He can't provide for himself. He can't keep himself, a manicure properly. He'll go get a haircut when he has to speaking engagement, or if he has to go to the UK. He walks around sometimes looking bummy. Sometimes, and I don't mean to go here, but sometimes it's clear that he's not brushing his teeth. I don't know. It's just I apologize, people. There's times where Umar, he doesn't have his own vehicle. He's most requested scholar in his mind. I mean, he thinks that he's literally God, but he used rental cars. He doesn't have his own place. He's been evicted when he was on the paperwork for eviction at least twice, and then he's been evicted while living with his mother at least once. You see what I'm saying? He's like a big old child, and so the issues that Umar is still dealing with to this day, it goes back to childhood. But at this point, there's no excuse. See, and Umar's been through a lot. There's other things that I know that I wish I can share with people, but it's too far. It's just too much. And again, I'm not making excuses for Umar. I'm not an Umar defender or apologist, but there are things that I know. I've said it before. There's a picture that I have of Umar when he was a teenager, and you can compare it to some other pictures of Umar from, let's say, 5 years ago. And you'll realize very quickly that stuff was going on with Umar back in the day as a teenager that's problematic. It's problematic today. It's problematic. It was problematic 5 years ago. It was problematic when Umar was a teenager. But even still, knowing what I know, it's still not an excuse for Umar to be living this way at the age of 50. See? All right. There's another term too. Enmeshment is one, but another one is emotional incest. You guys go look it up. See, when I do my research, I do my research. You guys look it up when you have some time. Okay, let's get into the video now, everyone. Thank you so much. How's it going? Precisely. I like that name. That's cool. Okay, thank you all again for tuning on in. Here's the video that I want to get into today. It's relatively short, so we can get to this rather quickly. Here we go.
Peace and Pan-Africanism, brothers and sisters. This is your big brother, Dr. Umar Ifatunde Oguntade. And I want to say this to you, brothers and sisters. I'm inside of your school, my school, our school, the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. I want to say something. Brothers and sisters, this election should show you something. This election should show you something very, very important.
Listen, I don't want to say too much. I can tell you all this, that the same year that Umar acquired these abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware, he got eviction notice. And see, when you put together the timeline, you see where he flipped that phone, and you'll see it makes perfect sense, because you can look at where he's live streaming in and around that time. And actually, anyway, we're gonna get to this at another time. Okay, I'll have it in a documentary for sure. Thanks for being here, Creel. Andrew, another one of the OGs. Someone got blocked. I didn't even see it. I don't know. I usually don't get to see the people who come in and troll and stuff. Listen, I just want to say this to you, Umar Johnson followers, the ones that come in and troll. It's okay. I get it. You know, I understand. I can't say that I understand. No, I can understand. But it's not going to change anything. It's not going to change anything. It's not going to change the truth that Umar is a scam artist and a charlatan and a baby mama creator and a deadbeat and sexually exploits Black women. It's not going to change that. These are the facts, you know, and I have all the receipts to back up everything that I say. When I speculate, I say I'm going to speculate here. When I was talking about Umar and when he was a teenager, that's not speculation. When I was talking about the photos, I can show you guys to prove what I'm saying in terms of, well, let me be careful. It's not speculation. It's receipts, and I have all of the receipts. I can give you a complete timeline and for all of the date changes for FDMG. In fact, I have a video for members that I've released, a rough draft section of the documentary that actually shows that all the different date changes. And I actually outline. Not only do I play them from his own mouth, I go to a page and I just add that one to the list, and then we go and I show the next one. Sometimes I'll give a little introduction, and then I'll play it, and he gives a different date. Then I'll put that one on there on that list, and then it goes to the next one, and I give a little introduction. Okay, and then bam, 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 bam. I can't even remember how many date changes was on there. He's changed the date at least 20 times. It's close to, it has to be over 25 times. So trolling is not going to change that. It's not going to change the fact that Umar's a scam artist, and Umar Johnson followers, the ones that have lied on me and said all kinds of horrible stuff. It's not going to change the truth. You know, I don't even want to go here this now, but and I'm just going to say this. There's another person who did some horrible things behind the scenes, online, but also behind the scenes. They were stalking one of my older children and posting their social media. I had to take the social media down, and just doing all kind of stuff and lying about my wife, and saying just horrible, just really horrible. And that person passed away recently. You know, listen, good people pass, bad people pass. The point is that when you pass, you want to make sure that you've done good. You want to make sure that you've done good. So this is just a message to you, Umar Johnson followers. Umar is a great deceiver. He believes that he's God. And he's a habitual liar, and he's gotten y'all so twisted up that you will do things that normal human beings simply would not do. You know, you don't attack people's wife, you don't attack their children, you don't do that kind of stuff. And so when it's time, when you're called home, you don't want to go up there and be like, listen, this is what I did. You guys understand what I'm saying? This is just something for people to think about. See, that's why when I do Umar Johnson content, I'm not up here lying. I even have levels of compassion for the guy. You know, I always back things up with receipts, because when it none of us know when that time comes. When the time comes, I'll be able to say, okay, I did some decent work. I was honest. I was sincere. I wasn't up here lying on people and trying to just cause harm. But there's a person who they really went way over the top. and recently they passed. You know, this is just something for everyone to think about. Everyone, you got to think about this. That's why I'm always fair with Umar. I know I clown the shit out of him, but that's because he deserves it. You know, but when it comes down to the receipts and saying certain things, I'm always honest, and I'm not going to get up here lying about Umar, and I'm not going to be lying about his loved ones, and I'm not going to be stalking his children online. That's crazy. That's just so far out of bounds, so far out of bounds. But again, when it's time for us to go home, you want to be able to knock on that gate, and when somebody asks you, what did you do? You don't want to have to say, you know, I was down here defending Umar, and these are the things that I did to defend Umar. You don't want to say that. It's not a good look. Okay. All right. Something for people to think about. All right. Lewis Suck says, I can tell by that face that he was catching mice and shocking them with wires hooked up to Duracell batteries in his tears because of bullying. I'm gonna tell y'all what and I'm speculating here. I think that Umar was bullied, and I think that he was a bully as well. He was the oldest child. He was bigger than all the other children too, because I have pictures of that too. Okay. I have a sense that his father was overbearing. On one hand, you have, I'm sorry, we get, it's supposed to be a short show, but there's this Umar character, he's so complex. On one hand, you have a mother who, in the relationship, again, his father went into the military when Umar was around 1 year old. And even though Umar, he talks about his father being present, I think that's just in his own mind, his own mind trying to correct the issue of being abandoned. Okay. Now, again, he's in the military. This happens, but the point is that there's times where Umar Johnson's father, Jamal, he's like on the other side of the planet. So what I'm getting at is that he wasn't consistently there. But I think in Umar's mind, he wants to make him appear to be consistently there for whatever reason. But I also think that it probably makes Umar, it justifies Umar's absence in his own children's lives, because now I can say, because even though my father, he wasn't there all the time, and I know that I'm a deadbeat, I'm not inside of, and there's a difference. I'm not saying that Jamal was a deadbeat because Jamal was in the military, but what I'm saying is that Umar is a deadbeat. But if he can say that my father, you know, he was active and he was present, then at least Umar can say, okay, in his own mind, twisted mind, I'm present inside my children's lives. Does this make sense? Did I say that right way? So if he tries to justify the fact that his father was absent by saying no, his father was present, then Umar can say, well, I'm also inside of his own mind, I'm also present, therefore my children's lives. But Umar's a deadbeat. And I think it's just a twisted psychological game that Umar plays. But the point is that on one hand, you have a mother who's very much invested in Umar. He's the oldest son. Umar's father's not around. So I think there's pressure, and it's not uncommon for the oldest male to have certain levels of pressure being placed upon him. There's also emotional incest that is taking place. Okay, you guys are going to look up this terminology. Enmeshment issues occur. You guys can look this up when you have some time. So you have that dynamic taking place. And then also speculation. I believe his mother made him feel as if he was special, giving him more attention. Special. This is just observing Umar's behavior and how he has talked about his mother over the years. Again, I've done the research. Okay. But then on the other hand, you have a father who is I said drill sergeant. Someone corrected me on that and said it's called a drill instructor for the Marines, who's overbearing, highly opinionated. He actually admits that in videos, Jamal Johnson. And I think that he was overbearing, and also think that he bullied Umar in these regards. And then Umar becomes a bully type, which he is to this day. All the yelling and screaming and shit. He tried to punk me. I said, boy, please, you must be out your mind. I don't play that. See? That's one thing I don't play. Ain't no man gonna punk me. It's just not gonna happen. I don't care who you think you are. And I don't mean to be like that, but that's just being real about it. So you have these two extremes that are taking place. And then ultimately, when Umar is in and around the ninth grade, because he's changed. One time he said ninth grade, one time he said eighth, one time he said 10th, but I'm going with the ninth grade for now. Okay. When he in and around the ninth grade, his father ships him off to a military academy. And so he's no longer in a boarding school. So he's not only away from his family, he's away from his mother. And that just makes things worse as years progress. And so now you have Umar, at the age of 50, he's still living with his mom when he can. And it's at Section 8 housing. Sad. Okay. This all to say that Umar, I believe that he was bullied, but I also think that he became a bully as a result. Okay. Thanks for the super chat. And then Bear says, you're right about Umar's Oedipus complex. You guys can look that up too, Oedipus Rex complex, which affects his relationships with women and why he can't have a lasting one. You're absolutely right about this. I have videos where Umar talks about these types of issues. Sometimes he does it in a passive aggressive way where he's projecting, but there's also times where Umar, he's quite candid about this, and he'll talk about, you know, how he doesn't connect to women, to people that well. Okay, I get it. I like to be by myself too, but the difference is that Umar will tell people that he'll tell people, and I'll say be by myself. I just like, you know, quiet. You know what I'm saying? But I'm always around with the kids with my wife. You know, I'm at work with people. I prefer to just be silent. That's just how I am. I can rub my mouth on here though. But with Umar, it's different. He just has a very difficult time connecting to people on a humanistic level, and that's a problem. And it also plays a role into his relationships with women. He really thinks women are very deceptive and are sneaky and they're out to get him. I kid you not. I kid you not. He thinks that women are like these, they're not to be trusted. He thinks like this about women, black women in particular, but I think he has this view about women and then that they're just there to be sexually exploited. So because he has these issues where he sees women in this way, women in these ways, I can state this, and this isn't speculation. Umar doesn't care for women. He'll sexually exploit you, but he doesn't care for you. He doesn't like you. You guys understand what I'm saying? He'll sexually exploit you, but he doesn't like you. See, and that's different. That goes back to issues with his mama. Listen, men, if we work through whatever issues we may have had to work through in life, we have an appreciation for women, you know, and we like you. You know, some of us, we like you simply because you're women. I'm kind of like that. I just like, you know, and again, I ain't never cheated on my wife. Okay, I've never lived a sexually promiscuous lifestyle. None of that. My wife and I've been together for 23 years, and I'm good. I'm not trying to none of that. But I like women. I just haven't appreciated. If I could sit and talk with a woman instead of a male, I'll rather talk with the woman. That's just how I am. Umar's not like that. See, he'll say the right things. He'll tell you that, yeah, we need to love women and we need to take care of. I've never heard him say love too. But let's take that out of there. We need to take care of, or we need to marry women, etc. But he's not doing any of that stuff. Barry, one last thing. In all the years that I've covered Umar and all the research, and no one has done more research than I have, I consider it as a statement of fact. It's not a statement of arrogance, and I have receipts to back that up. Okay. In all of the research that I've done with Umar, I've never heard Umar talk about being in a long-standing relationship with the woman. What does that tell you? All the cookie crushing that this guy done did, I've yet to hear him tell a long story, a protracted, as he likes to say, story about how he was in a loving relationship with the woman and committed. See, and again, how can he have that if he's so the enmeshment issues with his mama? See, I know what it is. I ain't even gonna say it, Barry. I'm not gonna say it, but you know what it is. See, Umar's not looking for a wife. Umar's looking for another mama. See? He's an interesting character because all of the issues that Umar is dealing with and he's been dealing with this since childhood, abandonment issues by his father, abandonment issues with his mother too, because I'm sure that there was a part of him was like, you gonna let them send me off like this, talking about his mom, because his daddy don't even live there, shipped him off. He does not like women. And I want you guys to be clear about something. Any man that's out here sexually exploiting black women or a woman, it don't even matter. Women, that's not a man who cares about women or loves women. That wants to see you safe. I'm big on that. I don't care what woman it is. The women and children, that's just how I am. Men, y'all get on about your business. You go handle that your damn self. Okay? But that's not Umar. His mentality is not like that because he has all these lingering issues, and yet he wants to tell black people as the black Messiah. He literally thinks that he's God. He wants to tell you everything that you should be doing, especially you black men, and how you need to be marrying these black women and how you need to be raising families, etc. I even heard this clown say that the most important institution is the family institution, which is something I've said for decades. I've always stated that the first institution and the most important institution is the family institution. But Umar will run his mouth and talk that talk, but he's not walking that walk. Thanks, Barry. Okay, thanks for super chat. One last super chat, and then we'll get to the video. Don't be shocked if if he cross dresses under the cover of night. Bantu knot, sundress, lipstick, and rollerblades. No. Louis, like, I'm not gonna do him like that. I'm not gonna do Umar like that. I mean, it's funny, but I'm not gonna see. The thing for me is I have to have receipts. I've had people say all types of things about Umar, and there's people who've reported things about Umar, but either they didn't provide any receipts, or the receipts that I have contradict what they say, and I just can't go. I got to go with the receipts. I got to go with the facts. I can say this though, Louis, look, that Umar, he does not care for women. And I don't know. I think that men who are real men, that we care, and it's not no strings attached. We just care. I can't explain it what that's all about. I just think that, or at least we should care. Umar doesn't care, but for sure, Louis, look, Umar will sexually exploit these black women. In fact, he will say whatever he needs to do to run game on you black women in order to get into them draws. You guys know, I know I shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna tell y'all something, because I'll be getting people be sending me stuff all the time, and it's verifiable. And I already knew this, but Umar, he has a history of seeking speaking engagements wherein there are women who are managing things, black women. And what I mean by that is that he wants to do events where he knows that there are not only going to be a lot of black people, black women there, but that also the people who are in charge, or at least on the surface are in charge, that they're black women, because in his mind, he knows that two things: he can exploit them easier. See, this goes back to Barry, what we were talking about earlier. He can exploit women easier than he can real black men. But then on the other hand, he has access to crushing cookies with these women. This is something for people to think about. In fact, there was a time where Umar, they would call him out to speak all the time, all around the world. But here in the United States of America, they would call him to speak all the time. But what Umar's game was that he would always push up on the women. He would try to sexually exploit them. And it could be simply as first complimenting them. This is running game, complimenting them, saying some nice things. You know, they texting him while he's in the hotel room. You know, did you get in on your flight on time? Yeah, my flight was good. Everything's good. I'm a little hungry though. You know, I know you guys provided me with some, but you know, I would much rather, you know, eat out somewhere. You know of any places? See, here we go. See, but all of this is grooming. That's why I know he don't care for black women. He just don't like y'all. He don't like you. He will sexually exploit you, but he don't like you. And this went on. This type of behavior would go on. But what would happen for some of these venues is that the women would go back and tell the men how Umar was trying to push up on them, run games so he could sexually exploit them. Come on back to the hotel. Come on back to the motel. That type of shit. Umar really, he not only think he thinks he's like anyway. So what ended up happening after this, word would get around, and these black organizations more and more would, not only would they learn about Umar and his sexual exploits of black women, but then the word would get around to other organizations too, that you know, hey, this guy, he's really out here. He may have a nice message and what have you, but ultimately his preeminent objective is to sexually exploit black women and to crush cookies. See, that's why y'all remember what was that lady's name? Zora. That's another example of that. There's a sister in Japan that when Umar went to Japan, she talked a little bit about this type of stuff too. I wanted to have her on as an interview guest. Anyway, this is why Umar, at a certain point, you start to hear him begging for venues, because he's tricked off all these opportunities because he was sexually exploiting these black women. And this went on long enough to where these black organizations stopped dealing with him. And that's why that's in part why he's where he's at now, where he's always asking for venues. He's begging for venues, even though he claims to be the most requested. No, he's not the most requested scholar. He's the most requested. He's not even most requested. He's the most exposed sexual deviant. That's what he is. Okay, thanks for the sexual troop chat. Okay, let's get going here. All right, here we go. I'm gonna start this over. I apologize. Just be running my mouth. Here we go. And thanks everyone again for tuning on in. Yeah. You're absolutely right. I don't mean to do. I apologize. But Mama Rika, you're absolutely right. That's why Umar went off the way that he did. I want everyone to listen. I want everyone to think about this. Why did Umar go off the way that he did with the SETI rant? Because it was over the top. That was the biggest. I mean, Umar, he's self-exposed, but did anyone ever ask the question, why out of all the people that Umar had beef with, okay, Tariq Nasheed, Boyce Watkins, Saad Netter, Young Pharaoh, Polite, he had beef with Polite too. A lot of people don't remember that one. That was in around the time where he got into the what he called the conscious stripper. Umar was dealing with these strippers out here. That's another beef with the stripper, Kim Ringold. The list goes on and on and on. I'm just throwing some of the names that just come off the top of my head. But out of all of these people, the quote unquote elders that he had beef with from the Black conscious community, which included he didn't say his name, but I knew he was talking about because I was deep into Dr. Valentine back in the day. You didn't see Umar go off like that. Now he tried to go off a little bit on Tariq Nasheed and Boyce Watkins, but it's not comparable to what he did with the SETI rant. Anybody ever think, why did he go nuts like that? Listen, it wasn't about money. It wasn't about who runs the RBG, because if you guys go back and watch it, it's shit's funny. But it's the whole, they beef over territory. It's like Black conscious corners. But it wasn't about who runs the RBG and all this other stuff that Umar's talking about, and who has darker skin and who has lighter skin. He called SETI an albino, this type of talk. It didn't have nothing to do with any of that. It had to do with two things, but really, preeminently, Mama Rica, it had to do with one thing. The lesser issue was the school donations and the money that Umar had collected. But there's plenty of people that call Umar out about that before that took place, and even after. There's still people calling him out on that, including us here in the Cook Crush chat. The preeminent issue was SETI called Umar out for sexually exploiting these Black women. And that's why Umar went off. Because that's what Umar does not want people to know about the most. He'll take, at least to a certain degree, he'll deal with people criticizing him for scamming on the school scam and the money and all this kind of stuff. He don't like that either. You gotta go look at the Lord Jamar interview. That's another example. He don't like that. He goes nuts. But if you call Umar out for the sexual exploitation of Black women, Umar will go what he calls King Kong consciousness. He goes ballistic, because that's what ultimately would cause him to lose the most amount of support, is if these single Black mothers in particular, but Black women in general who support Umar, his support base is mainly sourced from Black women. If they find out that shit and they realize it as being the truth, that it is the truth, then they're going to back up off of Umar. And not only does Umar lose a lot of his fan base, it's like he's lost a lot of his fan base more recently because of all the shit he was talking about Kamala Harris. But not only does he lose a lot of his fan base, but then he also loses a lot of the money that is donated to him by these Black women. Some of them because they see him as a Christ figure see him as a Christ figure who's going to save their sons. He's a savior. They're going to save his sons through FDMG. You see how that connects to what we were talking about at the beginning? That's why he calls that shit heaven on earth. Think about it. I've been noticing this. I don't mean to get sidetracked. I'm going to finish my point. But I've been noticing this. You guys ever wonder why that too? But let me go back. On one hand, he'll lose out on a lot of the support of the women who see him as a savior figure who's going to save their sons, and he's going to be the Prince of Now, I see this bullshit. But then the other thing is that he's going to lose out on a lot of money that was being sent to him by these same Black women. Black women, take that money and go spend it on your sons or your daughters or on yourself, okay? That's why Umar went nuts on the SETI rant, because SETI told the truth about Umar. And SETI's not the only one who knew about that. There's plenty of people that knew about that and still know about that from the Black conscious space, because I already talked about that. These different organizations would call Umar in, but they didn't say anything. Said he said it, and that's why Umar went nuts. That's right. Macho Man said he's savage. That was crazy. Kim Ringo said she wanted to bring her son to the event, and Umar didn't even respond. He only wanted the hotel visit. You're absolutely right about that. We'll cover that in the documentary. I've already gone through that timeline of that period. Umar still, but I'm sorry, you said that. Umar still hurt about that whole, because he feels betrayed. He thinks that all you black women are out there. He actually thinks that that the government sends these black women to. Boy, that's nothing. He's so paranoid. He be spitting these conspiracy theories. This is wild. Anyway, Creole. Kim Ringo, when Umar was dealing with Kim Ringo, he wouldn't take her to his house. You guys know why? Because he didn't have a house. What are he gonna take her to? His mama closet? He wasn't staying in the closet at that time. I'll take that back. But where's he gonna take? And then when he flipped that phone, you saw he was living in filth. Hold on one second. I'm gonna do this just for memory's sake, and then we're gonna get to the video. Okay. And she texted him. He said, why we gotta go to the hotel? See, he tricking off donation money on hotel rooms to be running through these women. But where else is he gonna take any one of you queens? God damn, that's crazy. Where's he gonna take y'all? He don't have his own place. What, he gonna take you backside on behind the Walmart parking lot? I don't know. Let me pull this up just for memory's sake, and then we gotta get going. Give me 1 second, everybody. Here we go. This is the video where Umar flips that phone. Here we go. Umar documented a snow bunny yelling in car. What? What is this one? I don't even know. Let me go back. Because that's not even what I'm looking for. It says snow bunny yelling in car reacts to something. But let me stay focused. Here it is. Okay. Look at this.
Strong alpha male, send those resumes in. FDMG resumes at gmail.com. FDMG resumes at gmail.com. FDMG resumes at gmail.com is what we're looking for. My thing is y'all need to. What happened? I'm in the process of relocating to Wilmington, Delaware, so the apartment.
He never relocated to Wilmington, Delaware. In fact, there's a video from last week. Last week, where he says he's in a hotel room in Wilmington. Well, if you relocated, why are you in a hotel room? Y'all remember this? Hit the one. Yeah, a lady. He gets the resumes. That's more. Umar talks a lot about military science. And remember, he went to a military academy. It was a military school, boarding school from ninth. He said 9th grade. One time he said 8th. One time he says 10th. I'm just going to go with 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. And it's oral. Apologize. It was probably making that beeping sound. I hope I wasn't off for that long. Oh, it was about a minute. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, I apologize, everyone. That's the sabotage. Okay. Thank y'all for letting me know. I got to make sure I check this. Okay, real quick. Let me just say what I was saying, and we get back to it. I apologize. So Umar was trained in terms of military, and he went to a military academy in around 9th grade. He said eighth grade one time, 9th grade one time, and 10th grade. I'm just going to go with 9th grade. And so they're trained. It was ROTC. He even gave a story of when he was shipped off to like this boot camp, and it was I think in North Carolina that he was shipped off to, maybe South Carolina, and they trained him on how to shoot guns, and in particular, they taught him how to shoot a machine gun. So the point is that he has military training in these regards. So oftentimes you'll hear Umar talk about military science, and even in the older videos before you start talking about FDMG, he would talk about military science and these types of things. But this is all derived from his pseudo-military experience in while he was at the boarding school, the military school for veterans' children. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because when Umar asks for resumes, that's part of a military tactic. And really what it is it's like doing surveillance. It's like getting information. There's a term for it. I can't remember what it is. Getting information about your opposition. You want to understand what the terrain is. You want to know what armaments they have. You want to know how many troops are there. You want to know anything like that. You know, there's a term, specific military term that is used. The point is that when he sends out these resumes, it's not about, because there's no school, right? There's no jobs, but really what he's doing is he's getting information. Yeah, that's what it is. Thank you, Pierre. Yeah, recon, okay, recognizance, okay, and this is like doing your due diligence before you go to war. Yeah, it's intelligence. Intelligence is part of it. Yeah, no. This is what it is. This is what it is. So for Umar, if you think about it from a military perspective, he wants to get as much information from his, even though they're his followers, it's really the people that he wants to exploit. So in essence, they're his enemy. Okay, I know this sounds twisted, but I want people to really think about it. Umar sees Black people as being less than him. He's a charlatan and a scam artist. So even though he has followers who follow him, he looks at them as what he's a mark. He's looking at these followers as potential targets to exploit. Does that make sense? So if we put it in that perspective, then what they ultimately become is his enemy. They're his target. They're his target demographic. So getting back to the resume situation, the resumes is really a way to do recognizance. It's a way of getting more intelligence about the people who are his followers, but really in his mind, they're his target. He wants to be able to target them for financial exploitation. He wants to be able to target them for sexual exploitation in the case of the women. This makes sense to people? See, I've studied Umar and I know what this is all about. Okay, so why would he ask for resumes? And this goes way back. Some of you guys, I can't remember, some of y'all been here a while. If you've done research, I can't remember when he first started asking for resumes. It was at least in 2010. The idea of, because I have the post where he's asking for resumes for an FDMG after school program or aftercare program and all this type of bullshit. None of it ever popped off, but that's just him getting the information. Now, what does the information provide Umar? See, if he's telling people to send me your resume, well, what is the resume going to have on it? It's going to have a person's name. Okay, first of all, the fact that they're sending in resumes to Umar, in Umar's mind, okay, I got him. Think about this. These people are sending in resumes. I don't even have a job for them. Umar don't even have a job. There's no FDMG, but I want you to send me in resumes for FDMG. So in essence, the people who's sending Umar the resumes are more susceptible to his influence and therefore are an easier target. Think about this for a moment from a military perspective. They're playing into his trap from the beginning. So now that they've played into his trap, that already Umar can acknowledge in his own mind that this is an easier target than, let's say, someone who's not sending in a resume. And because they're sending in a resume, that proves to me that they're more down with the cause. So it's going to be easier for me to exploit them financially and easier for me to exploit them sexually. So what does the resume show? It'll give Umar a name. Think about it. Some cases, an address. Listen, I have a degree in cybersecurity. You can find out a lot of information just with the person's name, but with an address too. If they're staying in an address and Umar looks it up and he can go, listen, you can look it up and see, okay, where is that address? Okay, is this a nice neighborhood? Is it hood or in there and they're really nice? Is it middle class? Is it upper class? See? There's a lot of information that you can glean for that. But you say, okay, well, if they're in a nice neighborhood, they probably have more money than the person who's in the hood. You guys understand what I'm saying here? What else can you get from a resume? Job history. Okay. And it's not that Umar cares so much about what your past employment is, because he ain't got a job to offer your ass. What do you go? Yeah, I want you to be the what? I don't know. Ain't even old school. But let's say if the person sends in a resume and on it, it says that they're a school teacher, well, he can probably say in his mind, okay, they probably have consistent income. I would think that they're probably making at least $65,000 a year. How much of that can I get from someone to 65? They're in the school system. They probably care about children. Okay, I'm opening up a school. They're probably more inclined to donate, even though I talk shit about teachers and all the time. But if they send me a resume, they're down. See, y'all think about this. They have consistent income. They're probably stable. He's even asked people to send pictures of their resume. Okay, this is a man. He can go by the name. Okay, this is a man. Okay, I can't exploit them sexually, but I probably get some of that money. This guy right here, he's a lawyer. Okay, he got some money. This guy right here, his job history. He worked at McDonald's. Probably not. He probably ain't got no money. So some of these resume has pictures because he's asked for pictures to attach your pictures, and there might be a woman on there that's pina colada, hot fuzz. See, here we go. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Well, I'm single. Okay. I got 5 kids. I'm a single. Okay. So what Umar's doing is he's basically using these resumes to get information in order to build a profile as to whether or not this person, whether it's male or female, is easily exploitable financially, and in the case of the women, sexually exploitable. That's what the resumes were about. And so the ones that he saw had money, he might reach out to them. There's phone numbers that he might text them. I got your resume in, just checking with you. I am raising funds for donations. If you like to donate, etc. Get on your Cash App, and they send him a donation. I'm reviewing your resume. Some people he don't even respond to. But I'm sure that there's some of the women that he saw their pictures and they're single mothers, or they're not married and they may be fairly attractive, or at least fairly attractive to him. They got the weed. I'm just playing. He'll text him, I got your resume. I'm impressed with your resume. We're FDMG's coming. He gets their information with the city they live in. So that's what you guys ever wonder why? Look, this is deep. You ever wonder why when people call into Umar's Black Parent, watch this. When people call into Umar's Black Parent teleconference, why does he always ask the people where you calling from? It's recognizance. He wants to get information about his target. And if it's a woman who calls in and she let's say she stays in New York. Oh, I will be speaking in New York on, Umar, on February 18th. You might want to come out. See, that's just, he already has this trap set up in advance. Make sure you text me. I'll send you the flyer. This is what Umar does. So that's what the resumes are about. That's what, when he asks people information about, okay, what's your name and what city are you calling from? Because he wants to get as much information as he can, so that ultimately he can turn that into he turns you into a resource, financial or a sexual resource. See, he's predatory in that way. That's Umar. And that's not all. I can give other examples too, but we got to get going here. But let me give you one quick in 20 seconds. You guys ever wonder why Umar, he would tell people, if you've donated, send me your information? All that would be online, right? If they send PayPal, even if they send Cash App, at least there'll be a name that comes through. But there was a time he was asking for people to send, even GoFundMe. He was saying, send me the receipt for your GoFundMe. And it shows two things. Number one, that Umar doesn't have a record, an accounting of how much money he's received from who, even though he claimed that he has. But two, it also goes to show you that Umar, he's on the back end, he's trying to get people who donated to come back and give him the information, because that information puts him in the position to know who sent how much money, and then he can go back and then ask for more donations. If they're willing to donate a year ago and they send me the receipts on that, okay, maybe they'll be willing to donate again. See, that's what Umar does. He'll send me the receipts, send me the receipts. So Everything comes to his phone. He gets the text message with that receipt. He texts him back. Well, we still donate. I mean, we're still raising money. So I appreciate the donation. If you were about to get this HVAC, et cetera. This is how Umar plays games. He plays games like this. Right? That's what. Yeah, there's no accounting. Umar doesn't know how much money he's raised. He doesn't know. The money comes and the money goes. He's been living off that money. See, he doesn't know how much money he's collected. Listen, $2.7 million at least, but he can't tell people. He can't tell. That's why. Listen, there's times where this is gonna be it. There's times, and I've been putting these in my notes where Umar's giving these figures of how much money he's raised. And you guys would be amazed. One year he'll say I raised $700,000, and the next year he'll say I raised around $700,000. Okay, which one is it? One year he says, we're at $1 million, and then the next year says we're almost at $1 million, and then 3 years later he said, or 2 years later he says, no, 3 years later he says we're not even at $1 million yet. I'll let you know when we get to $1 million. There's no accounting. The money comes in and the money goes out. But based upon what Umar said when it comes to PayPal, what Umar said when it comes to GoFundMe, he was at $1 million, and that's just PayPal and GoFundMe. He was over $1 million in 2017. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. You got 7 more years of this. Where you guys think he's at now? That's why I say 2.6, $2.7 million. Okay. Thank you again, everyone, for tuning on. And I apologize. The sound is screwed up again. Can you guys hear me? Lewis Suck says, didn't he bully a lady in Dallas about showing up to his lecture and the mother jumped to her defense a few years back? Yeah, I have audio of that. I don't have the video, but I have the audio of that. Well, Umar, it was one of his teleconferences, and the woman called in. I can't remember where she was, somewhere in Texas. She called, I believe it was in Texas. She called in. And Umar says, well, where are you from? And then she tells Umar where she's from. He said, well, I'm going to be speaking. See, Lewis, like that's exactly what I was talking about earlier. See, she has all these kids. Evidently, the daddy's not around. And Umar, he starts to go off on the lady. It got so bad that because he wanted her to come out. See, because coming out means that she may donate to Umar for the school that he's building in Texas. See, or it's an opportunity to crush some cookies. He don't care if you got kids or not. He wants to just sexually exploit. That's how Umar, he's a predator in that way. He don't care. But she wasn't. She says she's not in a position to do it. So Umar goes off, and it got so bad that she hands the phone over to her mama, which is the mama to the kids. And Umar starts going off and tell you, well, I don't really like how she's not coming. You guys, I'm not there that often, and you should be, coming to, and just trying to shame. And now she starts to defend her daughter. It was one of the most ridiculous things. It just goes to show where Umar's mind is at. It shows that he's not a man either. And I've said it in the past. I'm gonna say it again. What a real man would have done is he would have said, well, listen, do you have the time to come? You got all these kids. Yeah. And she says, yes. Okay. Well, how about I arrange for an Uber to pick you up, or a taxi? Let's say an Uber pick you up, and it'll pick you up and the kids. You have car seats? Yeah, I have car seats. Okay. Well, if you don't have car seats, we'll make arrangements so that the Uber has car seats or whatever. Or I'll have someone who at the event that's driving me around, that they'll come and pick you up, and they'll have car seats. We'll take care of that. And then when they pick the lady up, have a gift basket for her and for the grandmama. Nothing big, something small, but then also have a bag of treats and snacks for the kids to eat. That's what you do. Not Umar. He berates her and shames her, and then shames the grandmama to where the grandmama's up there trying to defend her daughter. And then when they get to the venue, you have a special seating area for them. You say, yeah, you guys can sit right here. If you need anything, just let me know, or let this person know if the kids need something or whatever, just let this person know while I'm doing. That's what a real man would have done. And what a real man would have done is and then while you're at the, say, this woman right here, we want to thank this woman right here because she came out here with all of these children, but she got out here. We want to thank her so much. Give her some acknowledgement, make her feel good, make her feel special at the venue. That's what a real man would have done. And then when the venue's over with, you go and you say, do you need anything, etc. Not to crush cookies, but because you care. See, Umar don't care. And then you make sure that she gets the ride back home, and you let her know, listen, I just want to make sure that you get home safely. When you get home safely, just text me, let me know that you got home safely. And then you send her, by the way, hey, maybe have some flowers for her. I don't know if that's a little too much, but I'm just saying these are the things that what a real man would have done. but not Umar, because he wants to exploit financially. The reason why he wanted her to come was for the financial exploitation, also to feed his ego because he's the most requested, but then also the potential to crush cookies. That's Umar. Okay, let's get to the video for sure now. Okay, we're gonna have to finish this up within the next. Well, I'm actually doing pretty good on time. Here we go. I'll start it from the beginning.
Peace and Pan-Africanism, brothers and sisters. This is your big brother, Dr. Umar Ifatunde Oguntade. And I want to say this to you.
Also, thanks, Louis Duck. I appreciate it. Thanks, and everyone else who sent the super chats. I appreciate it. By the way, just context. This video is from yesterday. I think it was yesterday. But Umar's back inside these abandoned buildings. He only goes back here when he needs money. There's nothing else going on. Ain't nothing changed. It's the same old shit that it's always been. And that's why he's up there. He needs money. You can look at it.
Peace and Pan.
Look at trash. Here we go. Y'all see the trash in the back? This guy. See, but I'm not surprised. I forgot to do this. I'm not surprised.
Strong alpha males send those resumes in. FDMG resumes at gmail.com. FDMG resumes at
Look at this. That's why it don't even register in his mind. The filth that he be living in, and he don't even care. The trash is
gmail.com. FD.
The point I was going to make about this is, where's he going to take the conscious stripper? Where's he going to take Kim Ringo? What, here?
MG.
Women, don't do. If someone you dealing with is living like this, it's just run, okay? That's why he wants to deal with these women inside of hotels and motels. First, he living with his mama, but also he living in filth.
Resumes.
Look at this.
At G.
Can someone, any Umar Johnson follower, can you explain this to me? How can you justify this? This is the most requested scholar. He literally thinks that he's God, literally. He's King Kong consciousness. He's Big Papa. He runs the RBG. And look at this.
Email.
This is nuts.
.com.
Ain't no telling what's up in here, too.
Is what we're looking for.
Bugs, roaches, as he says, mices.
Y'all need to. What happened?
See, this is Umar. He's such a deceiver. He'll set, and it's gonna be, I promise. He'll set up a nice backdrop. My backdrop look okay, but he'll have all this African stuff and the African this and the Marcus Garvey over here and different people. Then he have these different artifacts and all of this type of stuff. He got a couple of books. He's such a he's a Decepticon. He's a deceiver. He's a great deceiver. But that's just part of what it's all an illusion, like Sauron. It's all an illusion. And when he flipped that phone, it showed the real Umar. Everything is just trash and filth. He's living in trash and filth. My wife would tell you, I can't, I just can't. And that way, me and Umar, we're like the exact opposite. I'll take 3 showers at least a day. Okay, that's just how I'm. I'll brush my teeth 3 or 4, sometimes 5 times. I'll floss at least twice. Because I went to dinner, they said, you need to floss more. I said, okay, yes, ma'am. But trash, I can't. That's why having all these kids, sometimes the kids don't clean up. I don't, I wish they would just clean up. And then I'll just start cleaning up because I can't function. I mean, even the notes, I have these notes here. I can't have it just sitting all over. I have to put them right all together like this, and it goes right there. And I know this is what I need to get to. I have another notepad up here with everything we're gonna get for Black Friday. I got another notepad right here that shows this one right here that shows what I need to do for the day. So the tidiness, and it's not an illusion. It's just I can't. My mind can't even function when stuff is in disarray. That's just how I am. But Umar, on the other hand, his mind doesn't even function to put any order to anything. Okay, that's why up here, even today, at almost 6 years into this, since he acquired, they're crazy. 6 years since he acquired these abandoned buildings, there's still trash over back there. There's no good reason for that. Well, there's no good reason. There are reasons for it, but there's no good reason. Here we go.
Africanism, brothers and sisters. Peace and Pan-Africanism.
Is that a speaker? Or that a track? Does it look like a speaker back there?
Brothers and sisters, this is your big brother, Dr. Umar Ifatunde Oguntade, and I want to say this to you, brothers and sisters. I'm inside of your school.
Look at this color scheme. What in the world? He's inside your school, my school.
My school, our school, the Frederick Douglass.
Even how the door is slammed, you can tell something ain't right. I don't mean to be petty, but watch this.
I'm inside of your school, my school, our school, the Frederick Douglass.
Why are these doors slamming like that? I'm being petty, but come on, Umar. Almost 6 years into this, 5 years in 9 months.
And sisters, I'm inside of your school, my school, our school, the Frederick Douglass.
No. No, I'm really like that, M. Austin. I actually think something wrong with me. Yeah, I know. I'm about to let it play. Hold on. Real quick. I know. But see, that's why he goes up here, humble ones, because he needs money. Because he needs to go and turn that heat down. That's what it is. See, Umar, he gets bad when he's turning the heat down, but he gets even worse when he ain't got money to turn the heat down. You guys know what I'm talking about. That's when he be scratching and shit, and he'll be doing his hands like this, and just sometimes you see, I kid you not, there's times you'll see him sitting in the chair, and he'd be like, his leg just. You see, I know what it is. I grew up around it. That's why I ain't never done no drugs. I see how it destroys people, it destroys families, and I can see it so clearly in Umar. See? That's why he's up here. He's trying to get money. Not to do any renovations. He's just walking through the hallways. Look at this.
Douglas Marcus Garvey Academy. I want to say something. Brothers and sisters, this election should show you something. This election.
I never understand why there's light always coming through the top like that. You see that back there? What's up, information man? I got something. I don't know if you was here earlier, but I got something for y'all tomorrow. Okay, we do the live stream tomorrow. We're gonna drop the full video. It's this one right here. Wait, is it this one?
Pan-Africanism, peace and pan.
Already took it off. It's at the beginning of this live stream, but we'll get into that one tomorrow. Hope everything's going well with you, man. Here we go.
This election should show you something very, very important. And the one thing that this election should show you right now.
Look at this. Ain't nothing changed since the last time he was up there. The same thing. Floor still taped up.
American Africans.
Trash all over the place. Stuff all on the ground in the hallway. Missed ceiling tiles missing.
Is that going into the future, for the foreseeable future, the most important minority group, so-called minority group in this country, are the Latinos. Much respect to the Latinos.
Boy, this color scheme is all over the place.
I have nothing negative to say about the Latino family.
Still exposed wires hanging off this, falling out the ceiling. I don't know if you guys saw that. It's the same thing. Look, ain't nothing changed.
Much respect to the Latinos. I have nothing negative to say about.
See that back there behind his head?
The Latino family. But brothers and sisters,
he gonna start talking trash now about Latinos.
This 85% of American Africans voted for Kamala Harris, and Donald Trump still won the White House. 85% of American Africans.
So what, Umar? What's the big point? I mean, what's the point of that? I think, what do we make up? I think it's like 16% of the population. What are you talking about, Umar?
Voted for Kamala Harris, and Donald Trump still won the White House.
That's what I think, Sigmund. I think it's light coming through the roof. That's what I think. Yeah, he always lying. That's all he do is lie.
You want to know why? Because there's more Lat.
Yeah. That again, like, well, that's what Umar do. He just be lying. Oh, 13%. Okay. Yeah. So, and someone said 15. So 85% of 15%. Yeah. But Umar, you see how he got. Jimmy, why you got to do that? Don't do that. I kid you not. I have the Big Papa podcast. I think it's episode 8 or episode 6. I always get it confused. Umar talks about how they're going to build an observatory on the roof I'm not making it up. Hit the one real quick. I'm not making it up. He said they're going to build an observatory on top of these buildings so that they can see the surfaces of planets. Planets. I said, Umar, if you don't stop this madness today, he said they're going to build an observatory on the roof this month. I'm not making it up. I'm not making it up. I kid you not. I kid you not. Tomorrow, someone remind me. I'll pull it up. Someone said hey, he also said that the school was going to be, it's going to be a fitness like club type of thing for the old black people to come and get their workout on. He did say that. Okay. I'm not making it up. Look at all these ones. And again, thanks Black and Dollars for sending me that information. We're gonna get into that tomorrow, Gregory. Hope you're doing all right too. What's up, John? Yeah, the FDMG space. The FDMG. Oh my God, y'all nuts. Let me get off this chat room so we can finish up here. Yeah, he did say they're gonna have some. Okay. All right, let's here we go.
Latinos in America than American Africans. There's more Latinos in America than American Africans. And because there's more Latinos in America than American Africans, if you get enough of the Latino vote, you don't need the black vote. If you get enough of the Latino vote, you don't even need the black vote. That's what this election should have shown you. So what are you
Look at this color scheme.
saying, Dr. Ifatunde Oguntade? So what are you saying, Dr. Umar Ifatunde Oguntade? What I'm saying, brothers and sisters, is we better organize and institutionalize before it's too late.
Umar's always talking about we got to, we need to, we're going to, but he don't do none of it. Remind that Spike Lee movie. That's I'm going. You ain't gonna do shit, Umar. Umar ain't organized. He ain't organized one thing. All the stuff he says he organized is a figment of his imagination, literally. He still thinks he's in the UNIA, but he's not. He tried to get membership again in Detroit, but the president general, he sent out the letter, and I have it, to the general body, and he said that Umar, he does not want Umar participating in any UNIA events until Umar apologizes for back in the day when he was trying to scam money out the UNIA for a building fund to do renovation work. Sound familiar? And Umar was trying to seize power and control where he wanted the younger generation, him being the leader, because he's Christ. That's what he calls himself, the Christ. And to get all the older people out the way. See, he still talks as if he's still in the UNA. He's not. He still talks about the Black Parent, BIP, BDP, SWV, whatever it's called. That's a figment of his imagination. There's no website for it. There's no office hours. There's not a phone call. There's not a phone number that you can call, an email that you can email to. There's not a building for it where people get together. You know, there's none of that. There's nothing. There's no. You know how usually an organization that I can't remember what they call that, but if they have it on their website, they'll have it's like a declaration about what they're about. He doesn't even have that. It's a figment of his imagination. And there's other stuff too. A Teen Pan-African, that's another thing that he's created. It doesn't exist except inside of his mind, you know. But that's Umar. It's just he hasn't organized one thing, and there's reasons for that. He hasn't organized not one thing, see? And he's not an organized person. Listen, if you can't organize this little room right here,
Strong alpha male, send those resumes in. FDMG resumes at gmail.com. FDMG resumes.
this is Umar's. This is Umar's
FDMG resumes
ability to organize
at
right here.
gmail.com. FDMG resumes.
See, this is Umar's ability to organize
at gmail.com. FDMG resumes.
See this?
At gmail.
He don't have any organization skills. He can't even organize a room like that. But he wants to pretend as if he's this great black leader. It's what I call in the documentary identity crisis. Let me speak on this just for a moment, then we'll finish up the other video. We'll be done. We're going to be done within the next 15 minutes. Umar has struggled with an identity crisis going all the way back to when his father lied to him and told him that he was related to Frederick Douglass. Okay, let me rephrase this. because I want to be accurate. At the very least, it was when Umar was lied to by his father Jamal and was told that he was a descendant of Frederick Douglass. Now, that he was related. Okay, let me pull something up right quick. Umar suffers from an identity crisis. That's why he has all these different names: Big Papa, King Kong Consciousness, Prince Ifatunde, Atunde, Obatala, whatever. I can't remember the whole thing now because he be changing it sometimes too. He has another African name too that he got where he went to Africa and got a name, but he don't even mention that one because it's not as grandiose as the one, the Ifatunde, because that one makes him feel like a god. You guys understand this? He has another one, but he doesn't mention it. Anyone know what it is? We ain't gonna get into that, but I just want to be clear about this. He was given in Africa, was given an African name, but it wasn't anything that was extraordinary, and it didn't fit the ego, his ego and the narcissism. But then he gets another name over here in the United States of America at the Tunji village or whatever it is, and that's the one that he adopts as his main one because it's grandiose. Let me show you all this real quick. He has an identity crisis, and it goes back to his childhood. His name was changed to Umar Johnson when he was 8 years old in the 3rd grade. That was around the time when his father married his mother. See? It was in 1985, at the age of 11, when Umar was in the 6th grade, that he was told that he was related to Frederick Douglass. So I can say at the very least, it was when Umar was 11 that you start to see this split in his mind in terms of his identity. I mean, we can even go back to with the name change. In the 3rd grade, at the age of 8. Prior to that, he was known as Jermaine Shoemake. He suffers from an identity crisis. He's told that he's related to Frederick Douglass, and then it plants the seed in his mind that he's special. It plants the seed in his mind that he's going to be this great. But see, he's not even related. His father took a DNA test. I'll show inside the documentary. Came back that they're not related. I'm talking about genetically. There's no relationship between Umar, his daddy, and Frederick Douglass. There's no relationship. They'll talk about how, cousin Stephen, but the point is that there's no evidence that shows that quote unquote cousin Stephen is the same Stephen that he's talking about, or that cousin Stephen that he's related to, quote unquote cousin Stephen, going back many, many decades ago, who's supposed to be the brother or half brother to Frederick Douglass. See? Umar rarely talks about cousin Stephen, but he always brings up Frederick Douglass because Frederick Douglass, even though he's not related to Frederick Douglass, if he says I'm related to Stephen Bailey, a lot of people are like, okay, but if he says I'm related to Frederick Douglass, which he's not, like, oh wow, it fits his ego, the narcissism. See, but understand that even his calling these trap bandos in Wilmington, Delaware, FDMG, Frederick Douglass, Marcus Garvey, that's part of Umar's identity crisis. He wants to be Frederick Douglass. He thinks that he's Frederick Douglass up here, just like NIBPA and the Team Pan African and the Garvey guards of Garvey, whatever the shit is. African guards of Garvey. Garvey never went to Africa. What you talking about? It's an identity crisis. He wants to be the oratory style. A lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of it is sourced from Marcus Garvey. Because Marcus Garvey would be talking, he'd be great orator. He'd be, yeah, and we have to do that. Then he starts, Umar, that's where he gets that shit from. I kid you not. First time I heard it, I said, wait a minute. I said, that's what Umar got that from him. And he'd be talking regularly. Yeah, we got to do that. Because I've been doing the old research. I said, that's Umar got that from him. He thinks that he's Marcus Garvey. That's why when he purchased these bandos, he says, Marcus Garvey, the Black Star Line was incorporated in 2000. What did he say? 1919. FDMG purchased in 2019. I said, ain't got nothing to do with nothing. They're not related. I call it connecting the dots in my notes. Who might be connecting the dots that don't even exist? He got that right. He got that, Marcus Garvey. Umar thinks that he's everyone except Little Jermaine. That's the point I want to make. Big Papa, Prince of Pan. He has so many aliases to have a whole list of Prince of Pan-Africanism, Prince Fatunde, all of this stuff. Umar suffers from an identity crisis. He thinks that he's Frederick Douglass. He thinks that he's Marcus Garvey. He thinks that he's Biggie Smalls. He even thinks he's Tupac sometimes. No. Umar, you're none of those people. You're Little Jermaine. And that's the little child that has enmeshment issues with his mama. And that's his core personality and his core identity. And when people call him out for his foolishness, that's when he goes nuts. And that's when King Kong consciousness comes out. Because that's the bully, Umar. That's that character. He has an identity crisis. All right. Let's finish this up. Here we go.
The only thing that's going to save black people are themselves. The only ones who are going to save black people are ourselves. This election has proven that there is a changing of the guard. The Latino is now the most sought after so-called minority group.
He's so divisive. Umar is, but that's what these great deceivers do. They don't build shit. They don't organize shit. They divide. They divide groups of people against groups of people. They'll divide black people against black people. That's what Umar, he's done a lot of that shit. He'll divide black women from black men. Umar's done a lot of that shit too. He'll divide children from their parents. He's done that shit too. See, that's what Sauron did. That's how Sauron was able to come into power, because he played everyone against each other. The dwarves and the elves, they had already had issues before from the war, the Great War, the war of all wars, where Sauron's master, and all this, it goes all the way back to the trees and the spider and all this other stuff. Anyway, but that's what Sauron did in order to come into power in Mordor. He forges these rings, but really what he's doing is he's setting the stage to turn people and all these different races, I guess, against each other. Well, that's what Umar does. And that's what he's doing here. Now he wants to blame Latinos, but it's no different. He blames everybody. At some points, he blames black people, and then he want to blame Latinos, and then at some point, he's going to blame the Mexicans, then he's going to, I guess you say Latinos too, but where I come from, it's different. I'm from San Diego. Anyway.
Or people of color group in this country. Donald Trump won the Latino vote, and so he won the election. It didn't matter how many black people voted for Kamala Harris. It didn't matter how many black people voted for Kamala Harris. The Latino vote.
Yeah, that was a great movie. Yeah, it's probably my favorite Lord of the Rings movie, but I also have nostalgia for the first one that came out, An Unexpected Journey. Wait, is that the other one? No, Fellowship of the Rings. But out of all of them, the best one is Return of the King, in my opinion. Anyway, real quick, there was another super chat that came. Tracy says, Binky the Bando Bird told me FDMG is coming. Yeah, I remember Binky. Yeah, real quick, that was a bird. I'm not making this up. There was a time when Umar, he hasn't shown that the small gem in many years. Anyone I want to guess, I'll figure it out as I'm getting closer to time. I'm in 2000, finish up 2017, videos from 2017 with Umar. I'm about to get into 2018. By the time I get in 2019, that's when stuff really gets crazy. But there was a time where Umar, they were getting the small gem together. He hasn't shown that in many years, which is concerning in and of itself. He hasn't shown the other side of the street since 2019. That's crazy. But they were inside of the abandoned buildings, and they were inside of the gym in particular. And I think they were mopping or something like this, no ventilation, and they was mixing bleach and Fabuloso. And one lady was like, they were explaining to Umar how you shouldn't, because it's toxic. And with no ventilation, people can get killed. It's literally. But this one lady was talking about how she was the one who got the dead bird out of there. And we called this dead bird Binky the bando bird. I don't know why we came up with Binky, but that's what we came up with. But this goes back to what I was saying earlier about Umar. Okay, he's not a doer, and he's not a man in the sense of manly duties. As men, we have duties, you know, as there's certain duties that we perform, and it's not something that we even think about, but we do it anyway. Like it's about to start snowing at some point, and I already know that I'm going to have to get up in order to get my daughters to the school, because I'm not going to have them walking in the snow, and I'm not going to have them standing out there on the thing either. Now, if it's my sons, it might be a little bit different, but for them, that's not going to happen. So I already know, and I'm already preparing myself to where I get up even earlier and I'm shoveling snow. That's part of my duty. It's a fatherly duty, but it's also a manly duty. I also don't want my wife walking and trying to get through the snow either. So I'm going to have to clear the path to get to the car and then clear the path around the car so they can get into the car, warm it up while I'm doing all this stuff. So that when you get in the car is already warm. And then also shovel snow so that I can get out onto the main road. See, this one, I mean, this is manly duties. It's not something that you think about either. You say, okay, this has to be done. You get the shit done. Umar doesn't have that. Same thing. If there's a dead animal, my wife is not picking that up. I would be offended if she picked it. To be honest with you, I would be offended. Not to be like that, but I'm like, no. What are you doing? My daughters aren't picking that up. I would be offended. Like, no, that's that. I'm going to do it. Now, I might have my son do it, but I'm going to do it. If they're not there to do it, or if they don't, they get, okay, I'm going to get it done. Mainly, I'll just do it myself. But Umar doesn't even do this. He raises millions of dollars. He purchases abandoned buildings for $400,000, and there's a dead animal inside of the gym. We named the animal affectionately, I kid you not, Binky the Bando bird. And Umar is not man enough to get the dead bird himself and to dispose of the bird. That's telling in and of itself. It also shows a lack of care, and it goes to show you that he does not understand manly duty. So what happens? Well, there's a woman who comes up there, and they're doing all of this work for free to clean up this gym, and she's the one that gets the bird and disposes of it. That's nuts. It's unacceptable. Any man in there, Umar should have handled it anyway, but any man in there should have done it, to be honest with you. But the fact that a black woman, and woman period, but a black woman had to go up there and do that shit, it just goes to show you. You Umar Johnson followers, some of y'all listen, I don't mean to be rude, but some of y'all nuts. Because if he doesn't have even that level of fatherly duty, husband duty, manhood duty, why in the world would you continue to follow behind this guy? Some of y'all giving up the purse, some of y'all giving up the cooch. That's nuts. I apologize. I didn't mean to go off on y'all. I don't mean to be shaming you, Umar Johnson. I'm just stating the facts. There's no way. I don't even care if a woman that I didn't know, and she's, there's a dead end. I'll take that. I'll take care of that for you. Don't even worry about it. The same thing. I go real quick. I go to the store, and if there's a woman and because it'd be cold, it's getting cold. If it's a woman and or if it's an elderly one, it don't even matter even during when it's warmer. But if it's a woman and she has a cart and I'm walking by and she's putting her last bag into a cart, I'll say, here, I'll take that for you. And, oh, thank you. And I'll take it and I just go about my business. I ain't trying to crush no cookies. I ain't trying none of that stuff. It's just what we should do as men. Now I know some people, y'all, I don't know, I was 2024. I get it. But that's how I am. Umar should at least be half of that. Anyway, thanks Tracy for the super chat. And then user 225 says joining super late. What was the UK lady video recent? Yeah, this is recent because he was just over in the UK, right? So we'll go through the whole video. It's really, really short too. So tomorrow's show will be even shorter than today. We're doing okay on time. I'm really trying to get these down to an hour and 30 and just doing more consistently, but it is what it is. Tomorrow's show will be even shorter. I figured we probably won't even be here for 45 minutes because it's a really short video. But that he was just in the UK, and that's where this particular video recording was at. And someone sent it to me. I want to thank the person. They told me not to use their name. I won't do that. Okay. Anytime people send me information, if you say, listen, keep my anonymity, I keep your anonymity. Okay. Thank you for the person. If you happen to see this, thank you so much for sending me the video. I appreciate it. Okay. All right, let's finish this up. Thank you so much, user 225. Okay. All right, here we go.
Because there's more of them than us. And now that the migrants are here, and the migrants' children will be having children.
See this? I mean, this is now we're getting in. Well, Umar, he's something else. Yeah, I remember this. There was a little girl that was carrying out a box, or I think she was carrying in a box, Black Anonymous. Umar was live streaming and eating. Oh yeah, no, you're right. I remember that's another one. Yeah. Umar was sitting on his lazy ass, and there's a little girl. He didn't even stand up to do it. There's also, they were bringing in supplies. They was doing a cleanup day, and there's a little girl, and the mama was coming up the stairs. I think it was a little boy too, if memory serves me right. I can't remember, Black Anonymous, but anyway, Umar, he live streamed, he doesn't even offer to help. That's crazy to me. Men, physical, listen, and it's not sexist. I mean, some women, they're not into that. I get it. But the idea is that if you have more physical strength and more physical dexterity, and that's one of the gifts that you've been blessed with in your body as a man, okay, then you should use that to your advantage in the sense of using it to being in service. So if you have a wife or you have a girlfriend and she's not as strong as you, it's going to take more of an effort for her to lift that furniture or to move that furniture than it is for you. So the functional thing to do is to do it your damn self. To put less physical strain on her. Now, the job still gets done. The difference is she doesn't have to expend extra energy because you do it and you use less energy to get it done than the energy that she has to use. Does this make sense? Now, I know it's 2024, some people letting you sex. I'm just saying this is how I look at things, and it's not a sexist thing at all. It's just if you have greater strength and physical dexterity, now if you want to help, she can help. But I'm not going to have my wife lifting up heavy shit like that. It's just not going to happen. And me sitting back eating an apple, that's not, even me saying that is nuts, Black Anonymous. That's crazy. But Umar doesn't have that. He doesn't have this care for women, a love for women, appreciation. He doesn't have this sense that part of being a man is to be in service. See, I'm gonna tell you something else. That's one of the reasons why Umar, he gets into these modes where he's really, really down, because he really knows, and he knows this, that he doesn't have anything to offer to a woman in the first place. He don't got nothing to offer. What is he gonna offer? He ain't got his own place. See, he don't know how to talk to women with respect. He start yelling and screaming and shit. He just want to crush cookies. He don't even take care of his own kids. You think that he's somehow, co-parenting in a respectful, supportive way? No, absolutely not. He's a troublemaker. He's always been a troublemaker. And it also applies to how he deals with women. He's a troublemaker. And I'm gonna tell you that any man, if you feel like you don't have a reason, if you feel that you don't have something to be in service, that's why I've never been in the military, but I understand, the ideas about being in service. If you don't feel that, you're never going to feel as great as you do feel. Because when you're able to say, listen, I did this today, I got this done today, I did this for my wife today, I did this for my kids today, you feel good. But when you sitting up there like a lazy bum inside your mama's closet and you waking up and you ain't done shit for nobody but yourself, how are you gonna make you feel? Well, that's why Umar gets into these modes. He's something else. He's such an interesting character. He really is. I have the video where, and there's a couple of them. There's one recently we saw. I wish I had bookmarked it. Hopefully I've run back into it. But Umar says he has hobbies. They ask him, what are your hobbies? It's a radio interview, but there's also a video where he talks like this too. You guys want to take a guess at what Umar's hobbies are? And I mean seriously. Then we got to finish up for sure, because I got to be up out of here in like 10 minutes. Y'all want to take a guess what Umar's hobbies? He gave 5, I believe. Yeah, I gotta start typing on this out, because that way I could just type it inside of what you call it and it'll come up under hobbies. I can also give you guys the most important things you can, what Umar gives his gifts, what he's been gifted with. I got that one right here. Anyway, we got to close this out, but I wanted to pull up, because I have it here. But I know the ones that I want to share with y'all, but I want to give you all of them, but we can do it at another time. I haven't typed this one out yet. I'm sure I would have it archived numerically. I'm just looking for the numbers. Yeah, here it is right here. Okay. Let me give you guys what what his gifts. He phrased them as his well, one is his hobbies, the other one's his gifts. Let me tell y'all what his hobbies are. His hobbies are reading. Okay, that sounds nice. Writing, watching scary movies, sleeping, and eating. That's what Umar does in his spare time. And really, that's how Umar lives his life. He said it in other videos where he likes to sleep and take naps and shit. You're supposed to be building a school for black boys and collecting millions of dollars, and you living inside your mama. Listen, when Umar gives these dysfunctional male archetypes, he gives one of them is the couch potato, and all of them is really him. The predator. This is the man who's out here trying to sexually exploit women. That's with crushing cookies. There's the professional is always trying to say that, you know, he's made all these accomplishments. Okay, I have all these degrees. I'm the most requested. He's just talking about himself. It's called projecting. But then he says the couch potato, and that's the person that just sits around and is lazy and don't do shit. He's living off his mama. Umar's talking about his damn self. That's why when he gives his hobbies, he doesn't say, you know, well, I'm working on this project where I'm trying to open up this school. One of my hobbies is charitable service. One of my hobbies is feeding the homeless. One of my hobbies is running a sports league for black boys. None of that shit. What does he say? Well, he likes to sleep and eat. I already done told you all that anyway. Well, guess what? What he is, and he likes to watch scary movies. Yeah, well, that's what you call a couch potato. And that's what Umar is at his mama's house. He's a couch potato. When he's in these hotel, motel rooms, he's just sitting around not doing shit. Sleeping, eating, and sleep and eat. Okay? That movie, Spike Lee movie, he got that idea from Umar, because he saw Umar video and he said, we're going to call you Sleep and Eat. It's called Bamboozle. That's what it was. Okay? Let me give you Umar's, this is another one, his special talents. Orator, he was a great orator. Not as much these days, but he was really good back in the day. I give him credit for that, okay? And I've watched the older videos. He really had a great at it. These days, he pookie yelling and screaming and shit, repeating shit 3 times. Orator, writer, his writing skills aren't pronounced, in my opinion. I think he's actually a horrible writer, because there's things that he's written, even the promises in 2010 to begin laying the groundwork for the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey School for Pan-African Boys or Excellence, whatever the shit is. And yes, you will pay in order for your son to attend. Grand opening, September 11, 2013. This is chess, not checkers. But he also said that another one of his special talents is comedy, and it's true. He's a comedian. He's great. He could have been a really good one. I'm not going to say a great one, but he could have been a really good one. He's funny. All right. And then there's another interview thing, and he says most important things basically that he's good at and he's working on: FDMG, his oratory. Oh no, he talked about, this is when he's talking about the different little booklets that he has that he writes shit in. He says he has one, it's a notebook for FDMG, one for oratory, one for personal stuff, and another one for Pan-Africanism, another one for, I can't even read my handwriting right there. Business. It says business. And then one of them is for ideas. And that's Umar. He's an idea man, but he never gets shit done. Never. Okay. All right, let's finish this up for sure now. I got to get out of here in like literally 5 minutes. I'll just say 5 minutes. Here we go. Let's see if we can get this real quick. Here we go.
So that Latino population is only going to mushroom. That Latino population is only going to explode. I don't have anything negative to say about the Latinos. My message is to the American Africans, it's time to get up and stand up. My message is to the American Africans, it's time to get up and stand up. If we don't save ourselves, we will not be saved, brothers and sisters.
Look at this color scheme. And it looks horrible too. None of this is professional. He looked bad. Damn, War. It looked like he about to turn into a werewolf. He about to transform, y'all.
Looking to the government to save you, thinking the black vote is going to save you, them days are over. Either black people will save black people or black people will perish. Either black people will save black people or black people will perish. The vote is no longer a viable strategy for black redemption. The vote is no longer a viable strategy for black protection. The vote is no longer a viable strategy for black liberation. It still matters when you vote in your state.
Yeah,
Governor,
he will
your
also
vote
be-
matters.
Umar
If you
about
live in a
30.
predominantly black city, your vote matters. I'm not talking about U.S. Congress. I'm not talking about your judicial elections. I'm not talking about mayor and city council. I'm talking about the presidential election. The presidential election. When it comes
He looked bad. For the fact that he's even in these abandoned buildings yelling like this is crazy.
to the presidential election, everybody's going to go after the Latino.
Yeah, look at the writing too here. The disorganized black vote will be taken for granted even more now that Kamala won it and still lost the C spot run, C spot. And then it says Dr. Shoemake. What? What is going on here? And the Shoemake is, shouldn't the S be capital and shouldn't there be a space? So I'm saying the writing skills of this guy is deplorable. Yeah, he is. He really is. The disorganized black vote will be taken for granted even more now that Kamala won it and still lost the election. This guy has 6 degrees. That's crazy. Built like black women. I ain't never seen a black woman with hands that big. Just I'm not gonna do that to Umar, but there's people they say that he looked like someone's auntie, someone's great aunt. I said, don't do that. Don't do Umar like that. But let's look into the future, though. Once FDMG opens, he's going to have a gym in there that the black parents, they all come and work out, and hopefully he'll be working out too. You know, that's the thing about Umar. He doesn't take care of himself in these regards. You know, and I know I'm getting older, and I need to be jogging at least, but I just haven't gotten around to doing it. But I'm in fairly decent shape, and I take fairly decent care of myself, especially with the eating habits, that type of thing. But Umar, he doesn't take care of himself at all. And that's another thing. And not that it's a woman's responsibility, but see, when you're in a loving relationship with someone, because it goes both ways, that you take care of each other, you know, and you'll encourage each other to do those things that will put you in the best health. You know, there's times I tell my wife, you need to go to bed. Just go to bed, get some sleep. You know, there's times she'll say, listen, you need to eat. You know, you ain't eating right today. So, you know, that type of thing. It's just care. But Umar, he doesn't have, he's unable to establish relationships with anyone. And he actually doesn't like women. He don't care for you guys. He'll sexually exploit you. So it becomes virtually impossible for him to establish a long-standing loving relationship where a man and a woman takes care of each other. Or if you're homosexual, you know, or lesbian, whatever. The point is that people take care of each other when you're in a relationship. Umar, he doesn't know anything about that, and he doesn't take care of himself. You know, he doesn't. It's sad too. It's really sad. Well, I don't mean to go. I don't want to go any further because there's more I can say. I'm leaving it at that. Thanks to a sec. Okay, let's finish this up. Here we go.
Latino vote, they could give a damn about the black vote. So stop waiting around for elections to change our reality and our situation. Only we can change our reality and our situation, brothers and sisters. Only we can change our reality and our situation. Hit the Cash App, $ FDMG School. Hit the Cash App.
See, this is what this all comes down to. And this is Umar's formula. Okay. And let me just break this down. And we got about 30 more seconds to this video, then we're going to be out of here. This is Umar's formula, and it's been his formula for many years now after acquiring these abandoned buildings. Before he acquired these abandoned buildings, what he would do is he would go to different abandoned buildings, school buildings. In some cases, they weren't even school buildings, and he would act as if he's doing an inspection, and then he would ask people to donate. That's what he was doing for a long time. And he would do videos where he's talking about, I'm looking for a building. I'm looking for a building. Sometimes he's not even near a building. He's just in his car or he's walking randomly somewhere, but he'll ask people to donate. But you can only do that for so long. At a certain point, people say, well, listen, this has been going on for too long. GoFundMe started issuing refunds. So he settled on these trap banners in Wilmington, Delaware, almost 6 years ago, 5 years, and let's say 5 years and 9 months ago. He settles on these buildings. But what he's done since that time is that whenever he needs money, and right now you can tell he needs money. He was in a hotel room prior to this, but that money runs out. So he has to go and basically, I'm sorry, it's just sad. I don't want to say it that way, but it's like pimping. He's pimping the traps. He's pimping the traps, and he gets up there and he walks around to make it look like he's doing things or that there's literal significant progress, but ain't no different in there than when he did the paint day, the first paint day. Really, there's really no big difference. But what it does is it gives people the illusion of progress. And so then there will be some people who will send him money. Some people send him money because unconsciously they just feel sorry for him. They know unconsciously that he's nothing more than a broke bum. He's like a little boy. And some of these people, they send him money because they look at him like he's a little boy. It's like with my son, say, you need some money? My older boys, you need some money? Nah, I'm good. I said, okay. I always ask him, you need some money? Nah, I'm good. I said, okay. But see, it's a parenting thing, but there are people who do that with Umar. They see Umar and they can tell, look at the guy. I mean, he's not doing well. Okay, so he goes up here to these trap bandos, and this is his routine. This is how he gets the money. He goes up there to these trap bandos like this, and he starts talking about, he gives a little speech, and then he goes back to get on your Cash App, get on your PayPal, and then the cycle starts all over again. He'll get some money. He'll go turn that heat down. He'll get a hotel, motel, go get something to eat. And then once that money runs out, he'll come right back up here to these trap houses and do the same thing. These bandos do the same thing. Here we go.
$ FDMG school. Hit the PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. Hit the PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. The election has spoken for itself. The election has spoken for itself. The election has spoken for itself. Either African people will save themselves or we will not be saved at all. It's up to us. American Africans, let's get organized. Let's get strong. Join me at Nat Turner Land tomorrow, November the 11th, Monday, November the 11th, at the Cape Prime Ruriton Club in Nat Turner Land. We're going to celebrate Nat Turner, Harry Hart, Nelson, Sam, Travis, Jack, Will, Cherry, all
there's scammers down there too.
The Nat Turner Army, and we're going to talk about how to pull ourselves out of this situation. Pan-Africanism will perish, unify or die, black queens forever, snow bunnies never.
And that's his spiel to get the money. And then he leaves. He didn't do nothing up there. He just shows up and he does it and he leaves. That's it. All right. Excuse me. So tomorrow, everyone in the Cook Course chat, thank you all so much for tuning on in. Thanks to the mods for having this. Thank you everyone who's doing the super chats or Cash Apps. Super chats, if you send in Cash App, PayPal, thank you so much. Tomorrow we'll get to the video. It's even shorter, so we won't be here probably about just 45 minutes, but we'll get into the video where there's a woman who confronts Umar really on behalf of her son over there in the UK, and they call him out for the fact that Umar has 2 baby mamas and 2 children and didn't marry either one of the baby mamas, but he tells black men that we need to marry these black women. He's also talked about how we need to make sure that we're taking care of these women who are single mothers, etc., but he don't even take care of his own kids. Okay? He's not married. He's almost 50, and really he has no intention of getting married. Well, really, that's just propaganda that he spews in order to get, a lot of these black women to side with him or to support him or to believe in him. But it's a great deception with Umar. His ultimate goal is to get money out of you and for you women in particular to crush your cookies, to sexually exploit you. And that's a statement of fact. Okay, tomorrow we'll get into that video where the woman, her son, via the mother, calls Umar out. And you guys will be amazed at Umar's his response. Some of you guys probably won't be amazed, but it just goes to show you the type. He's so emotionally unstable. It'll be a shorter show. The other thing too is for members, I probably won't promote these in advance, but what I'll do when I'm typing out all these notes is I probably got about 4 hours worth of work to do in terms of typing out these notes because I'm backlogged. I'll probably do it as a live stream, and I'll put on some of the older videos during those live streams. And what I'll do is while I'm typing out the notes that I have, which is significant, I'm so behind, I'll be taking notes on the video that we're watching at that time. So it'll be more like kicking it. It'll be a little bit different, but we'll just hang out, and it'll be older videos of Umar. And that way I'll have extra content for you members, give you an opportunity to hang out. We can hang out a little bit, but I'll limit my commentary because I'll be mainly typing out some of these notes. Okay. So you can expect that maybe even tonight. If not tonight, tomorrow for sure. Okay. Thank you all again for tuning on in. Seth says Umar knows that if he yells doom and gloom, the weakest of our people will buy his doom. Yeah, we've talked about this. This is part of the victim mentality. We talked about this during the last live stream towards the end. But that's one of the things that Umar does is to really trigger emotions in people, and usually negative emotions in people. Now, the positive emotions is when he goes up there and he says we're getting work done and we're getting closer to the goal, and the people get yeah. But that's just another illusion. But what he tends to do is, in order to present himself as a savior figure, and Umar has a God complex. I talked about that earlier during this live stream. It became so crystal clear recently because I watched this older video where Umar, he says when he meditates, he sees himself up in the heavens looking down upon the earth. I'm paraphrasing, looking down upon the earth, and he's sitting on a throne as if he's God or as if he's Jesus. You know, that's some twisted shit right there. But that's the point. He wants to present himself as a savior figure to the doom and gloom. So he will promote the doom and gloom, get people riled up emotionally in that way, and then he presents himself as a solution. These are what cult leaders do, and then ultimately this translates into his ability to gain more access to people's money, but then also more access to crushing of the cookies. And that's what Umar is all about in a nutshell. Okay. All right. Thanks so much, Seth, for the super chat. Everyone else inside the Cookie Crush chat. Again, thank you all so much for tuning on in. Please enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll be back tomorrow. Which one was I going to play? Was it this one?
Invalid option.
Well, we know that one of the functions.
Where's the academy?
One of the functions of childhood behavior is attention.
Where's the academy?
I hung up, but I'm going to call back in. We're getting significant distractions from a Hotepian or two. I'm a dial.
All right, we're going to end it right there. I won't play the song because I got to lose it. I got to go right now. Okay, I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Love y'all. Sincerely, thank y'all so much. Thank everyone who sent in super chats too. I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the evening. I'll talk to y'all soon. Take care. Peace.